Excuse me, Mr. Scott. Yes, Ms. Thomas, your point of order.
Thank you. Madam Chair, I don't know if you'll recall, but the last committee meeting that you chaired, there was a Liberal member who was asking questions to a witness, and she consistently cut him off in order to ask the questions that she wanted to ask. No, I have a point of order, Madam Chair.
Is it about the order of the day? Because that's what a point of order is about.
Madam Chair, you ruled in favor of that member, that the floor was hers and she could use her time accordingly. And so I'm curious as to why the ruling is different today, because it seems inconsistent with previous rulings. I just highlight that for the benefit of the chair and the committee.
Ms. Thomas, I will answer that question. I think, above all, when we have witnesses, we should try to be courteous. And I'm just hoping that everyone will be courteous. Courtesy means letting people finish their questions or finish their sentences. Thank you, Mr. Scott. Please finish your sentence.
Just quickly, the two awards that the CRTC gave to CMAC related to an accessibility proceeding, and they were for $16,815 and $15,332. All other cost awards granted to CMAC, to our knowledge, were done by the Broadcast Participation Fund, an independent organization.
Thank you, Mr. Scott. And now I go to Mr. Housefather for 6 minutes. Anthony?
Thank you, Madam Chair. It's actually Chris. I'm in the next round.
Oh, sorry. I have you down as the first person on this round. Chris, 6 minutes.
Thank you so much, Madam Chair. Mr. Scott, can you describe the CRTC's current work on arbitration?
Yes, we do. We do both mediate and arbitrate in all areas of our work, but obviously particularly in telecommunications and broadcasting. The most active areas are actually in broadcasting, and they largely relate to disputes between program suppliers and program distributors. They're frequent. We have a staff that deals with this regularly. And we have a reasonably good track record in resolving disputes through mediation. And when that fails, we use final offer arbitration as our approach.
So you'd say this is an area of expertise of the Commission?
It is.
Do you know about what, and this speaks to perhaps not the C-18, but the work that you do, what percentage of these disputes are settlements versus final offer arbitration?
I do not have those statistics committed to my memory. I'd be happy to undertake to try and find some, but I would say this: most are resolved through mediation. In my term, I believe there have been perhaps 4 or 5 matters dealt with through final offer arbitration. And even in those cases, sometimes once the final offer arbitration process is established, the parties, if you will, fold their turn over their cards and enter into an agreement.
Probably very similar to my own work in litigation, that a lot of settlements at the doorsteps of the courthouse, and a desire to get a outcome that both sides may be a little unhappy with. There's a fair amount of international expertise in this area. Have you been able to connect with other international regulators or experts in other fields, or in other nations?
I have. Obviously, we've been trying to prepare. We have a working group that involves several regulatory agencies, but I specifically have met with the Australian authority and the French authority, both of whom have different models, but models that address this issue. I've also discussed it with the British Competition Authority and the Irish Authority.
From these meetings, what have you